Hey, happy Friday. Happy Friday. XO family, come on in. This is your host, ChristalXO, and this is another edition of Relationship Recap. I, of course, am your host, ChristalXO, and we have my man, Scorpio Moe, about to join us in just a second. Now, those of you that are fans of OWN, we usually recap Love and Marriage Huntsville and Family Empire, but tonight, seeing as we didn't have another episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, we're going to spend most of our time talking about Family Empire, which actually had its season finale of the first season tonight. So again, tonight's episode is going to focus on Family Empire Houston, which wrapped up its first season tonight in a I'm gonna wait till we get Mo on and talk about what he thought about the finale and to get you guys feedback. But for now, let me know, for those of you just joining us, what did you think of the show of this week? How was your week this week? If you joined us on Wednesday, you know that I had quite a troubling week. On Wednesday. Things have gotten a little bit better, but I will answer the question that I'm sure a lot of people are wondering once I get Mo in the building. But let me know how your week was. Let me know, chime in the chat, and let me know what your week was like. This is Friday. We are all blessed to be here, blessed to be moving forward. But let us know how it is. Let me bring Mo in the building. There he is.
What up?
What's good, Pajama Mo?
What's the word?
Man, I was just asking everybody, how was your week? It's Friday. We are in September. We are like moving so quickly towards the end of this year. It is crazy. I literally thought we were still in August. Somebody had to say, no, this is September. I was like, damn it, man.
We're 6 days in September, I think?
6 days in. I was still thinking we were in the end of August. I just been out of it. But how was your week?
6 days in September. Oh shit. How was the rest of my good? This was a good fast week, short day, short week for me.
Yeah. Okay.
What's up, everybody?
Y'all come on in. I am making sure that we have our Facebook family is able to join us. So welcome. If you are watching via Facebook, put an XO in the chat so we know. Journey Joy says it was a pleasant week, always thankful. I love that. That's the right attitude.
There you go.
That's the right attitude, Journey. I and I will say that, lizard and all, I am thankful for No. The lizard is still at bay. And what I've been told is that if you have a lizard in your house, and lizards live off bugs, so if there aren't bugs for them to eat, they will pretty much just die and decapitate in the house. And I have seen, and I remember when I lived in Fayetteville, we had a lizard in the house, and my son stabbed it. Its tail went this way, body went the other way. That was traumatic. And I actually called Stone, and I was like, Stone, I had another lizard in the house, and you weren't here. And he texts me back and says, Mom, you have a whole husband now. And I thought that was kind of rude. He's still my lizard killer. But I have seen a dead lizard before. So, and you know what? I just want to say to the lizard out there, I've named him Teddy. If he shows, I always name stuff. If he shows up dead, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I just don't like him being alive. And I don't want to be scared I want to see him before I'm shocked by him. So I do hope he dies, because he obviously did not want to go back outside. And I'm telling you guys, he did not want to come out when Adrian was home. He literally was here to scare and haunt me. Anyway, Teddy is in here somewhere with us. Okay. He's somewhere in the home. China doll, what's up? So Mo, tonight I was saying, we had Family Empire, the finale. Finale of Family Empire. Overall, what do you think? Because this was the end of the first season of the show. So first of all, let's look back at the season on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to ask this of our chat. What would you give Family Empire Houston on a scale of 1 to 10? The entire season.
7.25.
Right.
7.25. Yes.
Why
what
did you choose?
You give it because you're more picky about these things than I am. What do you give?
Well, okay, for me, I like that. I would give it a 7.5. I would give it a 7.5. The only reason I'm going to say 7.5, I was going to say 8, is because it kind of started off slow, right? I wasn't really sure. Kind of started off slow.
It did.
And that's a good rating for me for a first show. 8. Ooh, Tisha says 8.5.
What?
Yeah, that's good. Kristen says 9. I love that, but I think it's our audience. No, let me say, because I feel like our audience appreciates quality.
Okay.
And I think that Family Empire did not necessarily have some of the drama that some people like to see in reality TV.
Most people like to see it.
Right. So that's why I wasn't sure. I don't know how the ratings were yet, but definitely didn't have some of the drama. But I will say this: I would give it a 7.5 for the first season. Maybe, yeah, 7.5 for this first season. And I also would say that I appreciated the finale. Now, I don't know if a lot of other people will appreciate the finale, because finales are usually like big. It wasn't really big.
I think they strung us along, damn it.
That's why I gave it a 7.5. I think they played in our face.
Yes,
I think they knew that that Oscarine was going to be okay with the
right.
It was a plot that just see. Tina Bree says the slowness turned me off. Yeah, it didn't really pick up. The show didn't really pick up until almost midway through. You know.
You're right.
So I think that's why I can only, but I like the fact that the finale, it just tied everything up. There were no cliffhangers. Like, I almost think that if the chapter closed, I would be okay.
You know what? Yes, that's a great point. Yeah, I feel like that. And it wasn't enough to lead in. I don't know, man. It wasn't enough to lead into the new season.
That I want the finale to leave me wanting the second season. And I think it tied up everything nicely, but there's just I don't know that I'm really vested enough to watch them, build these homes.
What last week should have been the ending. If you're going to start off with this.
Yes. I agree. That's a good point. They should have held all that family drama, because that's when it really got juicy. Miss Rhonda said it did not feel like a finale. Like, it did not. Is anyone in the chat excited about next season and seeing what's happening?
Because here's the thing. You use the first season to develop characters, for everyone to fall in love and get into the characters. But at the end, maybe the last 3 episodes, that's when the BS starts, and then we can go into season 2, right? Mm-hmm. But it didn't happen.
Right. It did not happen. It did not happen. Kristen says, what in the world do you want to see? I just want to see something that's like a cliffhanger. That's like typical shows, any show, reality or sitcom, drama, anything always leaves you waiting, like gives you something that you got. It doesn't have to be drama, but it's something that you're worried about. Kristen, she says she's a real estate investor and have a family legacy of real estate. So, well, there's another show that came on. I'm not interested in reviewing that, about just totally realtors. Right. But I get it. Like, if you're into that, that's different. But I hope they do. I hope they do, come back, because I did like them. But even see, like God's Design says, I want to see what happens with Bubba and his daughter who cursed him out. I think I kind of know what's what's going to happen. Bubba's not going to say much, you know. She's going to apologize probably, and I just don't really.
What I would like to see is, I think they're going to play up that more, because I think that's an interesting with Nikki and her husband. Like, that's a tricky situation. They're in a tricky that dynamic with the wanting to. The husband don't want to do it. Let's face it.
Bubba.
But is that Bubba? No.
Oh, you're talking about Nicole and the adoption.
Nicole's husband.
The adoption.
Yes, the adoption thing. Pardon me. Yeah.
Yeah, he does not want to do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back. Let's go ahead and talk about tonight's show, and let's start there, because that's a good place to start. I never thought about the difference of, because there are families that have children at all different times. I personally wanted to have my kids. My brother and I were 3 years apart, so we were really close growing up. And I wanted to have my kids like that. My kids are exactly 2 years and 10 months apart. So I did it. My mom, my brother and I were 2 years and 7 months. My kids are 2 years and 10 months. So I think that having kids that are closer in age is good. But it was interesting hearing Nicole's, I guess, father-in-law basically say it was difficult because he had the two boys were 7 years apart. Has anybody else had that experience? I thought that was really interesting, because I know people that have, like, my husband and his sister are 8 years apart. They're not close at all, because it's almost like there is two only children. You know what I mean? Because they don't get a chance to really grow up together. One is already grown. By that time, that child is like, by the time her daughter would be 14, the new child, if they adopted right now, would be 7. So it's I guess it could be a little bit of an issue, but I also know a lot of families who have kids that are further apart and they're very close. What do you think about that?
With boys, I've seen that dynamic not work with girls, and it's always a girl. But the fact that he said he had 2 sons and that happened, that was different to hear. So I guess it happens over there too.
Yeah. Would you do that? So so Miss Rhonda, Christian Gold went to jail. Yes, Monday for Pop Culture Power, we're talking all about that. In fact, I almost feel like the entire show is going to be about Jennifer Williams and Christian Gold and him going to jail for 30 days. But we'll get into that Monday. So tune in Monday for that. So God's Design says, I'm 7 years older than mine, and I loved her like she was my child. But like she was your child. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different
sibling relationship for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you help raise them.
Yeah.
Babysitting, you see what I'm saying?
My mom said that, like, she was 8 years older than her youngest brother, and she said he was just irritating to her. She said that she just had to take care of him all the time. So she didn't really have that brother-sister relationship as they got older. I actually agree with Miss Rhonda. She said they can adopt a child closer to the daughter's age. I think that would be awesome, because if they don't want that gap,
I think that's worse.
Why do you say that?
Because really going at that point it's rivalry. Like, hell, it's 2 girls trying to be friends with each other. Now you're gonna bring somebody that already has a personality, not developing one, and then somebody that already has theirs, and you're trying to. I don't know about that one.
Hey, Colton, but she's 7. I don't. What do you think about the father? And I was like, girl dads are wrapped around their daughter's fingers. I know for personal experience, but the dad is like, well, if she's not with it, then we're not going to do it. I'm not really with letting a 7-year-old dictate the dynamic of the family.
When Nicole said that, she's like, she's 7 years old. She don't know. Like, I agree.
Yeah, I think that, but that's dads and daughters, because he's just like, well, if Layton's not with it, it's not happening. I'm like, Layton is 7 and spoiled.
I think he's putting it on her, the daughter, but he don't want to do it.
Maybe that could be it too.
I think he's putting it on her. How sturdy do you think they are, though? How?
I will say this. and you and I had a conversation about this offline. We don't see much. There's not much chemistry with them on camera.
Mm-hmm.
You guys see that? Like Nicole and her husband, she has a. You could tell she loves being the family member in charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know that she loves her sister. I think the person that she loves most in the season is Keisha and Keisha and Monet and her daughter, but we don't see any chemistry between her and her husband. She did make a statement that said that there was a very rough time in their marriage 3 years ago. And I'm gonna speculate and assume and do all that stuff and just say that they probably were close to divorce. Seems like some type of betrayal or something happened, because for her to say it wouldn't have been a good time to bring a child in, they probably were contemplating not staying married.
I hope they solid down bringing one in, boy. Woo.
I just don't know. It's interesting because I also feel like, Nicole is interesting because I think she's a person that's very, very concerned about what everything looks like.
Absolutely. I get that energy as well.
More so than everything else. And I think it's interesting because Chris, that dynamic between them tonight where you could tell he does not want to, I want him to get another job. I do. I, in fact, if there's anybody out there in Houston, Texas, that needs a great photographer, and please offer Chris a job, because
Chris is tired, damn it.
You could tell Nicole is looking for him, and you could tell the disgust in his eyes when she found him, and she's talking and she wanted to give him a hug. He's definitely seems miserable. And I think that she does not seem sensitive to the idea that that's her cousin's
that's a big issue.
Husband. That's not good.
Let somebody talk to her husband like that and act to her husband like that.
Would she care though?
Yeah, that's a good point.
She don't really seem to be. And I noticed that he said when she came in the house, he was like, "Get off the phone." I hear that in my house all the time. It's like the biggest issue with Adrian and I is my phone. Husbands don't like you to be on the phone, ladies.
If you were in a situation where, let's say, you have a child and your relationship is kind of not where it needs to be, you're kind of unhappy, and someone bring another child in that's technically not yours, and then if the relationship ends, now you have to pay child support for 2 kids. Do you think about that?
I didn't think about that, but he did say that, and that also could be why he's not into it, because he may not, the state of the marriage may not be happy for him. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like did you guys notice that he left he wasn't around at the crawfish broil.
Notice that.
He just don't really seem like he wants to be down with it. I do think I agree with you. Karen says Nicole is way too into her masculine energy. The chemistry is non-existent. Me and a friend were just discussing that. Yeah, I think she just wants to be the boss of everybody.
I agree, Karen.
Yeah, and then I think, even the way she's handling the situation it's 2 situations that she's managing, right?
Right.
The situation with Keisha and the rest of the family.
Right.
Because she stood up for Keisha, but I think she just likes being in control. I think it even more than the situation, she just likes being the boss. And then the situation with her granny, she stepped in to basically co-sign Jermisha, but it's almost like everybody was waiting on Nicole because they're so used to her being the one that takes charge.
And she's not even the oldest, but she has the strongest personality.
She has the strongest personality. I think that's all that matters. And I think as much as Jermisha wants to be on her own and wants to separate herself, you see when she's around Nicole, she still kind of, concedes to Nicole, because when they were at the location site and she was, and they're making the final decision. When Nicole said something, she was like, thank God Nicole stepped in. And, it's just like she still kind of defers to Nicole.
Why do you think that is if she's the oldest?
I think that's how Nicole has created it, because she has a much stronger personality. I mean, she has a Devil Wears Prada type personality. You know what I mean? Like, I'm stepping in. It's about the business. She's getting. I can see myself in all of this, and I was just like, I don't know if she's as much about the reality of it or the look of it.
All you gotta do is go to her Instagram page. I told you.
And God's Design says she has Miss Oscarine's ear. But one thing I've noticed is that family, especially older people, people are going to always defer to the one who has the most confidence. And it seems like Jermisha is confident in her confessionals, but not when they're all together. She definitely kind of waffles, where Nicole comes in every scene. She's like the center of attention. But you guys remember, this show was hers. It was her baby. She's the one that brought it to the rest of the family. So I feel like Nicole is Melody Holt.
Bam. There it is.
Nicole is the Melody Cherie of Houston.
There you go.
A family empire, much like Melody is 11 Marriage Huntsville. Like, that's the same personality. Like,
I could see that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a good point. Maybe the husband is hesitant and he's putting it on the daughter, but it's really because of him.
Yes, I believe so. Yes. Yeah, I totally believe that.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him.
What do you think about? I actually like Monet. I like Monet.
Yeah, I like her too.
I think she seems like a softer version of her sister, maybe because she's the baby. She also seems like she's not as into the drama. Like, she does. The fact that she has her own business and she's not trying to be in the real estate business.
Right.
I think she has her own identity, and she probably don't want to be bossed around by her sister.
How much do you know the age difference between the two?
I don't know their age difference. But we did find out some information tonight that helps us to kind of put this puzzle together, right?
Oh yeah.
We found out that first of all, we saw a conversation with Joy and Monet, and we don't really see Joy and Monet. We really had only seen her talking to Nicole. We didn't really see a lot of Monet at all, this season, because she's not a part of the real estate business. So we saw that conversation between mother and daughter, and then we also saw the conversation between Keisha and her aunt Jackie. Right. And that helped me to kind of get to know Jackie a little bit more. And my mom's name is Jackie, so I could be biased. I will say that. But she just seemed so sweet. Like, I don't get an evil, meddling energy from her.
And I did not. I agree with you, because that's what I saw. You're right. Yeah.
I think she just a sweetheart. And if she doesn't have children, that doesn't mean that she was trying to meddle. It just could mean that she just really loves her family. And I'm sure anybody out there that is a sister that loves their brother, if it's your blood, you want to know that child.
But you got to place though.
I just don't think she meant anything bad by it.
I think she did, but you got to bigger than you though.
I think I can't, I can't say. I think I probably would have done the same thing. I might have done it. I probably would have got in my brother's behind and irritated him and made him and tried to make him do it or something. I don't know, because let's talk about what we learned today. First of all, we learned that Bubba and Joy were living together.
Absolutely.
When he got Keisha's mom pregnant. So that kind of explains to everybody, because Keisha made it seem like he was just dating two women, but that's not dating two women. That is a family over here that I'm working on a future with, and me cheating on that family. So Keisha's mom was well aware that Bubba had a woman he was living with.
But we got to keep in mind, we don't know what she was feeding her daughter.
Right. And we also don't know what he was feeding her. But the most important thing we know is that she did know she made the decision to have a child with a man that was living with another woman.
Damn it.
I don't think that's ever a good idea.
You're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice. You know it's not going to land in your favor.
It's not going to land in your favor. And we know that, Miss Rhonda, because they said tonight that Bubba and Joy were living together at the time that Keisha, and he was pregnant with, he was pregnant
Nicole.
with Nicole, so we don't know how long Bubba's relationship was with Keisha's mom, but we do know at the time that Keisha's mom got pregnant, he was living with Joy.
Right.
So Keisha said she was not an outside child, but that doesn't really make any sense at all. That's Keisha's definition of it. But she also said a few things tonight. I want to just say from my perspective, she is upset because Joy did not want her around.
Right.
I was glad that Joy got a chance to kind of speak up for herself today as his wife. And that has got to be hurtful that he had that affair on her. And I don't think it was her. I really don't think that it was her responsibility. It's different. It's one thing if Bubba had the situation with Keisha's mom and something happened to Keisha's mom, right, and then Keisha was brought into their family.
Right.
But as far as going and getting the daughter and making her a part of all the family pictures and all that, I don't think that I wouldn't want to do that. Like if my husband had an affair, and of course we talked about it a couple weeks ago, I believe a woman should leave. But if your husband has an affair and the child that he had that created the affair, or that was proof of the affair, lives with her mom, I don't think I would want her in family pictures.
Well, not only that, would you even want her around?
I don't think so.
With the sisters, it's like, okay, we already know this. But to know that she's coming over there and we got to hear about it, causing more problems in the house. And maybe that's on Bubba because he created this
It definitely is on Bubba. But I also want to say Keisha definitely has her mom's back, which I get. Like you can't fault her for that because she's also in her 40s, right? And so she got to acknowledge, well, if your mama knew that Bubba had a situation, then it's kind of like the issues that Keisha had are not just because of Bubba, it's because of the decision that Bubba and her mother made together.
And there you have it.
It's not just Bubba, it's also her mom.
And that's the part I think a lot of people have a problem swallowing. Yeah,
everybody wants to act like her mother was not wrong.
Right.
You got to know as a woman what your child could potentially deal with. Now, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a scenario. Let's say she was married, and she was dealing with Bubba. She got pregnant and decided not to keep it, but Bubba wanted it. What would y'all say then? You see what I'm saying? Like when it goes one way, it's like, well, okay, well, what if it went the other way? And he wanted it. Like, if he didn't want nothing to do with it.
I think suffice it to say, Bubba would not have.
No, obviously, he probably celebrated, but I'm just saying, he on one end he has a choice, and the other end he doesn't. And so once you do that, he has a choice to pay, to take care of it financially, but not deal with it. And now you want to take it a step further and be like, well, he made the decision, he decided to pay, might leave it alone. Because on the other end, if he wanted to have it, you were like, well, it's her decision. Well, now that he had it, now that you guys had it, he made the decision. His decision is never valid. It's never going to be right. Other than exactly what you want to do. He messed up. And he should be the one stepping out here. I'm just tired of seeing these women. It's him. Let's hear him. I'm just tired of these women having to defend the dude that stirred this whole, that created this whole mess. Where's he at?
He is checked out and not accountable.
That's messed up. If you really, really think about it, that is so messed up that you got these women fight. You even got cousins getting into it because of the mamas that ain't have nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It starts to trickle down to everybody else because you was creeping around on your old lady.
But I think that is something that happens a lot. Like a man makes a decision, has multiple women, and then the women end up fighting and the man just kind of sits back.
And then you 70, it's one thing that did you in your 20s doing that. You got to be at least in your 70s and you still not standing.
He said he's 74 years old.
And you still not standing on nothing? That lets me know as a grown man right now, he's sorry. Right now. You get a little leeway, you young, you trying to figure it out, but right now you're not even standing on nothing. And
yeah, he not. And Joy ain't really making him stand on it, you know.
Oh man.
I hear that, Monica. I hear that, and everybody says that. I said that last week. Like, I know it sounds great. That's good rhetoric to say. If you stay with a man and you know he cheated and had another child, you have to either leave or stay and accept the child. But I just think everything is not as black and white. And I think that sounds great, but it's just not as easy. It's easier said than done. You know?
We got to keep that around the board now, Crystal. We're going to start accepting easier said than done.
What do you mean?
Because a lot of people, we whether it's here or wherever, we get on and we say certain things that we have no experience in, and we like, well, the man should have did this, or this person should have did that. If we got to say easier said than done, if we haven't in that experience, then we got to give people a lot more grace on a lot of other things, especially young people. You know what I mean? Because
and we have to realize these people were young when this happened. I mean, Bubba is 74 now, with Nicole and Keisha being in their 40s. This happened in his late 20s, early 30s. So he wasn't a baby.
Yeah, my daddy 74.
My mama's 74.
Man.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's an unfortunate situation, but I feel like my point is, and it's okay to disagree. Everybody sees things from a different vantage point, right. But I just feel like Keisha's kind of in a situation of defending her mom, and her mom has passed away. And it's unfortunate because any child is going to defend their mom. Any child is going to defend their mom, no matter
person. Yeah.
Which is why also Monet stood up, to Keita against when she talked about Jackie versus her mom. Like, and you can't get mad at either one of them because Keita was defending her mother, and Monet was defending hers. Like, but I like that scene between the cousins because they were just like, you know what? At the end of the day, we're gonna be family regardless. So we just got to get over it. And I think if more people would not try to be right, but try to keep the family together as opposed to trying to prove they're right, things would be better. So I like that. And I was like, I have to figure out how to do that in some situations. Sometimes you may feel 100% like you're right, but if you proving that is going to destroy the relationship, sometimes it's better to just be like, we agree to disagree. I'm not going to see it from your vantage point. You're not going to see it from mine, but we love each other. And that's the bottom line.
That part.
That part. I don't think either of the girls were wrong. I don't think either of the women were wrong. I think that Joy has a right to feel how she feels. And I think that Jackie had a right to feel how she feels. I don't think either of them are wrong. I think the wrong person was Bubba. And I don't think that we can make Joy the villain because she decided to stay with a man that she was in love with. Like, women are hard on each other.
And let's be clear, she was pregnant, y'all.
Damn, she said she's a complete nutcase. What makes Joy a complete nutcase?
That's crazy.
That is wild.
She was pregnant, y'all. Keep that in mind.
And she loved him. Like, yeah, I don't think she's wrong. She might have made a decision that wasn't in her best interest, as most of us do. There's not a woman on this planet that hasn't made a bad decision. Nola, how did Joy lie? What did Joy lie about, darling? What did she lie about?
Yeah, what did she lie? She
She
lied.
said she's the villain because of how she still treats Keisha. I don't agree with that. We could just agree to disagree.
I mean, I don't think that we should villainize her for that. I just
She's
think,
a villain because of that. So I should just be excited about my husband's affair, baby. That's wild. But everybody, we all see things different. None of the women are wrong. It all started with Bubba. Joy is just like most women making bad decisions for a man. I agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah, Bubba is the one that's wrong
I mean, both ladies
and
made.
been wrong.
Yeah, man. I,
But I don't see. But you know what? I had a friend. I had a girlfriend whose father cheated on her mom. Right. This is the crazy thing, and maybe y'all can explain this to me in the chat. Um, my friend's dad cheated on her mom all the time, like blatantly, like everybody in the city knew he was cheating, but she didn't ever hold it against her dad. She had so much resentment towards her mom for staying with her dad. And I, from the outside, somebody that didn't have a dad in the house, I was always like, but aren't you mad at your dad for treating his wife like that, for hurting his wife? But she was like, she's stupid for staying. I mean, they really had a lot of resentment and bitterness towards the mom, and none of it. They were all dad. She was a daddy's girl, loved the dad to death. The
it
dad
is.
got no accountability for it, none. Only the mom.
There it is. Because you gotta understand that we just got finished saying that she's sticking up for her mother. If she's a daddy's girl, she's gonna be like, I'm sticking up for my father.
And I guess we all see it through different lenses, because I didn't have a dad, so I was a mama's girl. But I'm just like, why are you mad at your mom because she stayed? Like, being weak for a man does not make you a villain. It may make you weak for the man, but it shouldn't make you. It's not evil.
Well, I don't think it's that. I think she's saying this, and I still don't agree. But I think she's the evil part she's trying to speak of is she's being evil towards her, not
Towards Keisha now.
right.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever a time.
I don't know.
Keisha said this woman should be grateful to be in the family. That was a wild statement. That was a wild statement.
I hold you. When she said that, I was like, oh no.
That was a wild statement. Yeah, see, thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda said I was a dad's girl and I would stick up for him no matter how wrong he was. I have another girlfriend who said she watched her dad cheat on her mom, but she never held it against him, and she thought he was a great dad. He was not a good husband, but she could separate the two.
That woman, there it is. We had conversations about that. And that's the thing. And I think when we say about the mother, you're looking at it as how he treats his wife opposed to how he treats me. And I know me and you always go back and forth about that's a reflection on.
Yeah.
I get it. But some people, and maybe it's girl dads that can separate, I don't know. I don't know how that dynamic works, but
yeah,
some people agree.
Yeah, well, I just hope that they're able to get some healing. You know, I hope they're able to get some healing, because that's hurtful. But I feel like that happens in so many different
absolutely
families.
I don't, obviously I don't know their family, but any dynamic that I've seen where the son amongst a bunch of sisters doesn't take accountability, doesn't move along in life in the necessarily
that matures quickly,
it's because the sisters babied them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I told you this before. So it was me, my brother, and my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom babied the crap out of my brother. Like she taught women teach their daughters and love their sons. And my mom did that. And I know she did the best that she could do. But in our family, there was a tendency to be hard on your daughters and to just love on your sons. You know what I mean? And I tried to break that with my kids, because I saw how I felt that made me feel. And I saw the consequences it had on the difference between me and my brother, So
yeah,
that because it really does seem like even Jackie, as angry as she is with Bubba last week, they definitely seemed She was like, well, talk, and I do love. She just seems sweet. She said, well, talk to your dad. You only get one dad, but I don't think that ain't Keisha's responsibility to go chase Bubba down. No, it's Bubba's responsibility to talk to Keisha. Now,
she just knows her brother, and he's going to be stubborn. But if she wants that relationship, but it don't seem like she's going to run over there. She's a little apprehensive herself.
Yeah. Do you think that she was wrong for cursing at Bubba?
She was emotional. If Bubba feels the way, he's got to charge that to the game. I understand you, but you got to look at the circumstance, and what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
A little emotional. Everybody's high-headed. It was a lot going on. I don't think they should have done it there. I think that was in bad taste.
It was for TV. That was for TV.
Yeah,
that was definitely for TV.
Or
and
whatever.
Monica, I'm the same way. She's 74 and and my mother does that with my kids. I have a girl and a boy just like she did. And she's crazy about both of them, but she just coddles my son. And, she's a little bit harder on my daughter. I mean, she definitely is way easier on both of them than me. But I can definitely tell the difference in the way she interacts with them. I think and maybe that's okay, because I used to always think when I was little that maybe it's okay for the mom to coddle the son as long as there's a father in the house to add balance. So if the father is coddling the dollars, because trust me, my husband is coddling all of his daughters all the time. Like he has no balance. I said he would be such a different parent if he had boys. If the daughters call and have a problem, he's immediately going to solve it, right? Where with my mom, if I call her, she's going to help me work through it and solve it myself. But with the dads, I see a lot of dads just fix the girl's problem, right? She calls, I put my Superman cape on, dun da da, and that's how my mom was for my brother. So I think that if I used to always feel like, which is why I wrote my first book, if I had my dad, then our house would have been balanced. I felt like there was not really anybody there for me because I didn't have a dad. You know what I mean? And that person that was supposed to love on me was not there. So I think that when you have the mother and the father in the house, it adds a little bit of balance, because there's definitely difference in relationship. The automatic dynamic of a mother and son and a mother and a daughter and a father and a son and a father and daughter are just so different.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. It is definitely, I agree 100% with Miss Rhonda and God's design. It's not always easy, but it is necessary to let the baggage go. I feel like with the family, if they would let this go and make peace with it, it would make everyone a lot happier. But the problem with that is the person that is needed to help them let the baggage go is Bubba. And Bubba is not cooperating. And so for the women to actually come to, because there's no way that Joy and Keisha can come to and understand. That's not even Keisha was the daughter and the proof of the affair. It takes Bubba to do that.
All right. If she's willing to stay with Bubba doing that, then she's willing to listen to Bubba. So go to Bubba first.
Bubba don't have nothing to say.
But that's what I'm saying. But you have to, it starts with Bubba. You're starting with the wrong people.
But Bubba said, that ain't her kid. She don't have to accept her. Y'all remember that? Everybody that's saying that Joy is the villain.
So you
Bubba put the battery in her back. Bubba said she don't have to accept her. That's not her child. But so
you think he just said that? He said that then, I bet.
He's been saying that. He's been saying that. In fact, that was his campaign to stay in the relationship. You don't have to have nothing to do with that child. I'm going to pay child support. They did not see that girl until she was 7. That meant they came to an understanding that they were going to pay child support. He was going to pay child support, but that child would not be brought around. And then when things changed, because the sisters went and got her.
That part, that's what I've been trying to say. I'm like, it has something. You come in there and you don't know what that is. Leave that. If you anything, ask him first. Just don't go do that. And maybe y'all could work out something, but we don't have to have a deal with it, so be it. But I believe that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Man, not saying it's right, y'all.
Yeah.
They discussed in their house.
So let's go back to the the legacy building. I do feel like the way it was wrapped up tonight, they always knew they were going to do that. I don't feel like there was this big dilemma about it because it was just too quick and too easy, and it just doesn't make sense that they were really seriously worried about that. I think that when they sat down to do this show, that was the conflict they were going to ride on.
That sounds about right.
Because for the family to be able to make that much money in potentially 5 years, nobody's going to turn that down.
But I agree that I think that Oscarine wanted to see. I still don't like the jump of the line. It still feels that way to me.
I think so, but I mean, it appears that everybody's eyes have been opened by the.
I'm like, well, just give me my portion now.
I don't know if I'm gonna be here tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, and because they said they're going to do the building and it'll be a build out slowly, so I can. When can I get my money? When at the first check? Do I have to wait for it to be invested on? Can I cash out quick? What am I due? And can I get that early? But you know what? I probably would be, me personally, I probably would be all for the legacy of the family. I admit that. I don't think any of them are hurting.
No, but here's the thing. What Oscarine did with her money with the Grand Tools was paid for their real estate license, right?
She did.
So now she's trying to double back. So technically the line was already jumped.
Well, I'm sure the children have benefited from their parents owning all that property.
Anything to move forward, like that could set you up for the rest of your life.
Unless I agree with Nola. They could have used their own money instead of the grandma's. They could have.
There you go.
They could have done that. Nicole, take one of them checks off of $4 million. Where is Kristen that does real estate? Kristen, can you tell us what is the commission off of a $4 million house?
Nicole, stop buying shoes and stuff and put your own money into stuff. That's what you're doing.
I want to know, Kristen, can you tell us what is the commission for a realtor and for the broker off a $4 million sale?
But you see, when she wants to be the face of the luxury brand, you know what she want to do.
3%. Okay. I mean, what is 3% of 4 million? That's what I thought we were going to get, Kristen. What is 3% of 4 million? I mean, it's going to be good anyway. Let's see.
Is that 400? No.
I don't know. Kristen, you got to tell us. We don't know. I don't negotiate those numbers that high. Okay, hold on.
Everybody got the calculator out.
We do. Okay. Thank you, DeQueezy. Everybody says 100. Okay, Kristen. Everybody says while our heads were down, everybody said 120,000.
I'll take it.
I thought it was more than that.
I thought it was too, but guess I was wrong.
Yikes. Well, that ain't enough. Once you tax that, I ain't enough. Well, so what would you get as the broker? What is the deal with the broker, Kristen? Does the broker get? It doesn't look like the broker gets more than. Okay, so 200. Okay, 240,000. That's a little bit better.
Yeah,
a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I'm just on $4 million. Okay, so they own their own companies. They may get more than 3 points. I don't know. So does the broker and the real estate agent get the same amount, or does the broker get more? That's interesting. Thank you all for our resident experts in the chat. DeQueezy and Kristen. No, like the buyers and sellers agent will each get 120,000. Okay.
Man, that's what I'm talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you might not be working the deal that long.
That's true.
Somebody sees it and likes it, and this man, look.
But you know what? I wonder this. So if I get 120,000 for a $4 million property, right? How much do you guys think? Let's just all take a guess since we're all on here. We're gonna get off early tonight because we only got one show, but and we were on for 3 hours on Wednesday, which was crazy, but we had a good time. But if you could guess, how much do you think they spent on that launch in the mansion that they're selling on tonight's episode? What do you think they spent? Because they had luxury cars, they had to stage it, which I guess is just getting probably renting furniture for the house to show it. I didn't really like the decor. Did you like the decor? I didn't like the decor.
What's the matter?
I didn't like the decor for the house because I just felt like Kristen says the broker cut depends on the contract, could be 2%. Ooh, now 2% of 120. I'm not happy at all with that as the broker. I'm out. If I get 2,400, I'm out. Not doing that no more because $4 million and I get 2,400. No. Now, because what am I going to get if it's 100? Well, if it's a $500,000 house, that's not enough. 2,400 is not enough to do anything. 10 grand.
I was going to say
that's a little bit better.
12.
Okay, 10 grand. The staging, 20 grand. What about Kristen and DeQueezy? What do you guys think the staging for a $4 million house was? Obviously, that house had quite a bit of square footage, and they even rented luxury cars, which is not really that expensive, specifically in Houston. But what do you? I'm probably a little closer to 20 grand.
Damn.
Yeah, if you own the company, you'll likely get other pay over that. I hope so, because that 2,400 is not doing anything. That's not moving the needle for me, Nola.
12 to 15 grand.
12 to 15 is what you think?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that because Keisha said that, Jermisha said tonight, like, if you guys knew what we paid for that, y'all would slap me. But so that let me know it was quite a bit. So out of that 120, that's coming out because you got to do all those things to get the sale.
Right.
So I have a friend that is a real estate agent, and the staging is, it's just a lot of hoops you got to jump through. The reason I said I did not like the decor, this is just me, and I don't know who the client, I do know who the client is. A $4 million house, the client is a extremely, it's a wealthy person. And I just feel like things are a little bit more understated sometimes. The more money people have, the less they have to show. They have to show it. So I just don't know about black lacquer stuff. Like it felt very black lacquer-ish. And I don't think that's really how I feel like when you have a house that's that expensive, everything is extremely tasteful and extremely subtle, extremely classy, and just a little different in the decor. But that's just me.
It could be new money.
It could be new money.
New money do that. Old money won't, but new money.
Right. New money is like new. Okay, an NFL player. Then there we go. Black lacquer me up. Black lacquer me up. Yeah, I just didn't. I'm with you, Miss Ronda. It just didn't look like it was like really like quality, tasteful, because you don't want it to overpower the house, and you want it to be. You want the staging to be something that allows people to see what their own vision could be, along with the potential of the house, right? Not necessarily take it over with the design. So I think it's supposed to complement as opposed to overpower. And I felt like it was a little overpowering, just for my taste for a $4 million house. But if you know that, and you never know that you're selling to an NFL player, because that could be an option, but you don't know you're going to close with that person. So I would err on the side of safety and be a little bit more understated and classic, because they can add their own flair, but you just want to make sure that you do something that appeals to clients across the board. Because if you're buying a $4 million house, then your net worth is much higher than that.
You must be going for because I've heard of situations where athletes buy the house, everything, the stage.
Yeah, I have two rappers. actors, people that have a lot of money and don't have a lot of time.
They'd be like, look, I'll take how much for everything in here right now.
But that's also why you want to make sure that the staging is tasteful and, you know, appeals to everybody, not just one, not just one type of person. So, you know, I didn't like it. So, and the cars, I mean, that's cool. I guess it's great for the video. I think some of it was the staging for the house, and I think the cars and stuff were more for the videos.
Right.
You know, so they can do the social media thing. I want to ask the real estate agents in the building, since we have so many of them that are here, or a couple of them that are here, how big percentage wise, from 0 to 100%, how big a percentage is your social media engagement with your business? Because I know a lot of businesses hinge on social media. I would think for the average client buying luxury homes that they're probably getting word of mouth and it's a part of a network as opposed to social media engagement. But I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, the people that I know, like I have a one of my celebrity friends has a best friend that is a real estate agent. She's married to a former NFL player that was a what is it called? A franchise, like a Hall of Famer. He was a NFL Hall of Famer, right?
Okay.
So but you don't see her on social media, but she's plugged in with all the affluent who's who in this city. So if you're trying to get a house at that level, you're going to hear her name and you're going to get referred to her. So I'm wondering, with luxury clients, in you guys' opinion, how much of your business comes from social media? Okay, DeQueezy says it varies. Some don't need too much social media. I use it because I use it a lot because I'm newer to the industry. Okay. For Kristen says, for their market, new money, social is important. That's what I would assume. I would assume new money is important, but also, like, for this woman I'm talking about, her husband was a Hall of Famer, big time NFL player. So when new guys come, they meet him because they, you know, he played for the Falcons. They are odd to be around him. And then his wife, they move to town, get signed to Atlanta. That's who you're going to end up dealing with, you know? And I think, but I guess it depends on the market, and it also depends on the access that you have.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Because she don't need the social media because she has the network. But I guess if you don't, DeQueezy, thank you. When you have great network, you really don't need social media. Yeah, that makes sense. So overall, it looks like Family Empire Houston got an 8. I think if we average everybody's out, we're like about a 7 or 8 on the season. I want to see them come back just because I like the ladies and I appreciate the storyline. However, I'm not going to stay up wondering what happens next, because
they got to punch it up if they want people to hang on. We've been introduced to the characters. We know who's who and kind of a little backstory. So now moving forward, we're going to need something else.
We're going to need to get into, you know, we're going to need to do, Mo.
What's that?
We're going to need to delve into these marriages.
Exactly.
We're going to need to do it. We're going to need to figure out what is happening with Nicole, what is happening with Jermisha. Now, Jermisha, actually, her husband seemed cool. What is happening with Keita and Chris?
Give Monet a man. Like, let's make this interesting, y'all. Monet, you know.
And Kristen says no marriages. I mean, the problem is when you sign up. Well, okay, what do we want to see? I don't think. Now, I get that you like the real estate aspect because that's what you do. But what do you guys want to see from the show? I don't think people want to see a lot of transactions over and over again. That's the case. It's going to be a real estate show.
There you.
DL says, we're just stopping by. Missed the episode. Hubby watching the game and son was sick. Hope your son feels better, DL. My hubby is watching the game as well, which is why I always kick him out of the room, or sometimes he kicks me out. But the episode was very, like, they wrapped everything up. Everything ended on a nice note. They obviously are Mascarene agreed to do the Legacy project.
They tricked.
And usually when they end the season finale, they'll show like what everybody is doing. So we know that Nicole wants to adopt. We saw Monet in one of the few scenes that we've seen her. There was not really anything that left off. Private persons have so basically drama. Were we complaining that Love and Marriage Huntsville deviated from the original intent? Yes, I agree. I don't want anything to ever go like Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I do think that we have to. I'm not saying we should show their marriage is falling apart. No, but I do think we need to see a little bit more of the dynamic. I do think that with this show, we can look and see that Keita and Chris, he doesn't want to work for the family. We got to be able to hear what he really feels. He's just saying whatever he feels like is going to keep him employed. We know that there's some issues there. Like, you can't ask this stuff. We need to know if we're going to do it. What is it?
Right.
Now, I don't want to see anybody having an affair like we did at Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then the chick that is having the affair with the guy, come on. And like, I don't want to see all that, but I do think that we need to get into the relationships between the couples as opposed to just the sisters and the cousins.
I just found out what's name had a whole son. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, okay. I do have a question to ask about that before we wrap. And I know you guys are not going to agree with me, but do y'all not think it's weird that lesbians have children? Like, they be in whole marriages. And then they'll just be like, I don't want that no more. I don't want the eggplant no more. I'm moving my kids in with a woman. This is what we're doing.
This young man like 6 feet tall. I'm like,
he
what?
is. And then I didn't know that Caramel had 2 children. I mean, I guess I did know, but she mentioned it again tonight, and I'm like, what is happening?
That kind of threw me off a little bit, but
why does it always be like that? Why do when are the lesbians forcing themselves not to be with women early on and trying to be with men and then having children? Or are they just deciding later in life, I don't want that no more?
Hey, I know this ain't got nothing to do with it, but did you see the clip of the one who said she tired of women, she's about to go back?
I did. And you're right, private person. Men do it too, but that almost feels even worse to me. Men are flaming. Well, you know what, guys? Hey, and I'm speaking, but my uncle is that way. My uncle is 50. Well, no, my uncle is 66 and has 3 children, was married for 21 years. And now if you saw him in a club, you would not recognize, you would never think that this man has 3 children and at one point was a married man. All you see is,
No, I don't know, and I don't want to see. That's my man, though. He cool.
All you see is.
Does he have grandkids?
Not yet.
Okay.
My uncle is off the chain. I love him to death. I love my uncle to death, but my uncle switched up. My uncle switched up on us. He came out to me at Shout with a Beyonce, all the single ladies. Said, I got something to tell you. Got up and did the whole single ladies routine.
Hold up. Was this the time when you showed me the picture on the phone? You was almost blind my eyes.
Yes.
Okay. That was
yes, Tina Marie. The brat did used to be into men. She dated Allen Iverson.
And Kirk Frost.
Let's
be clear.
Yeah. That was a whole, you see the brat talking about Kirk gave her all this money for her phone number.
Yeah. Oh, Kirk. Yeah. Old trick back then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kirk was the man a long time ago.
That's what they said.
I got friends that told me. Yeah. So anyway, interesting.
When we finish wrapping this, I do want to end with something extremely important.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get to it. Let's do it.
And this is really for any men listening, but maybe the women could, if you have brothers, fathers, really men, mid-aged men. when I was coming up, we had to worry about getting to 25 years old, right? With, violence, gun violence, street violence, so on and so forth, right? Well, getting to now to be 55, it's a whole nother worry. We got brothers out here falling out, dying, heart attacks, strokes. It's a new thing that we have to worry about to get to the next age. And I just want all the brothers out there to know, man, please get yourself checked out, find out where you're at. And once you do, follow the doctor's instructions. Health is wealth. It really is. It's not just the saying. We got brothers falling out at an alarming rate, not making it to 55.
Yeah.
And it's it's a lot of times the stuff that we started, bad eating habits, exercise or non-exercise. So I just want all the young men or the mid-aged men, man, whatever happened already happened, but what can you do now? If you can do something, you have insurance, even if you don't, there's plans that you could do, there's physicals that you could do. I think it's like under $60. You could do something as small as go to the CVS and they can tell you, get your blood pressure checked. They tell you if it's hypertension, all these different things and different levels. But please, whatever you do, please get yourself checked out and find out where you're at. That's all. This is a health announcement for all the men out there.
No, I appreciate that, and our condolences. I'm good, thanks. So a friend of mine died suddenly yesterday. I'm so sorry. It is that's like I said, our condolences, and
yes,
we pray that God, send you comfort. I think we've had several people that we know in common, pass away. There's been so many people passing away just that are part of like pop culture, from Batman Scoop, which was at 53 years old. You know what I mean? So and I think that message is good for men and women. Like, we all need to make sure that we
right, man. Just please,
Yep. I'm with you, Miss Rhonda. I cannot understand it, but hey, that's why I'm not. That's not my team. I'm not that team. But they probably can't understand why I like what I like, but I love it. But yeah, so that's all for tonight. We're gonna end with giving Family Empire. What do you say? A 7.5 or 8 total?
I'm rounding.
I will say 8, because we had a 9, a 9, an 8. You said so. We're gonna give them an 8, a solid 8 for Family Empire. Houston, hopefully they'll come back, and I hope that Carlos will continue to bring shows like this that aren't just trifling. I also hope this one doesn't get trifling, because Love and Marriage Huntsville was not like this at first. It did have the issues with Martell and Melody from the first episode, from the first season, but all this internal bickering and hating each other, we didn't see that initially. So I actually think this was a refreshing change. But I do think we need to dig a little deeper. We need to get started a little quicker next season. Let's get to it. Let's figure out what it is. Let's get to know these people. And I also think they need to figure out, like, we know that Jermisha and Nicole are like main characters. Like, it's a lot of them. So figure out who was going to be our main, and then let's delve into their situation a little deeper,
That part.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So I will be back on Monday with Pop Culture Power, and I will be talking about the Brat and her wife, Judy, who are rumored to be potentially separating and potentially going for divorce.
What?
Because I heard that Judy might have stepped out on Brat with a man. Now, Judy is one of those lesbians that has children from a previous relationship. And when I met Judy, I did a brunch, and she was one of the people that we had come in and speak at our women's brunch. And she was talking about men. And this was probably this is before COVID. So maybe like 2018, maybe 2017. It was not that long ago. But child, so we're going to talk about Judy and Brad, and then also Jennifer Williams and Christian Gold.
Got them lock in. Crystal got a good one. What time you on Monday, Crystal?
Monday at 8.
Monday 8. Y'all lock in and watch Crystal. Monday 8. This gonna be a good one. And ain't no telling what's gonna transpire in these next 2 days.
Yeah, then we got the weekend. We're gonna figure out what happened over the weekend. Now, Wednesday, tune in because we have a panel of women coming on, and the women are going to talk about what's wrong with
the men's
profiles on dating websites, online dating, because the men were ridiculously harsh from the panel. We were entertained, but they were ridiculously harsh. Like, I don't know who was telling the truth besides Moe.
It was a rough crowd. It
was a lot.
Petty, but we're gonna get.
I think they were just having fun. A lot of it was just in jest, but I think they were really hard on the profiles. It was a lot. So I don't necessarily believe all of that, but we're gonna see the women keep it real on Wednesday. Tune in on Wednesday, and then on next Friday we will dig all into Love and Marriage Huntsville.
And there it is, y'all.
There it is. All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend. Mo, have a good time tomorrow at your poker game and all your male activities with my honey bunny. And I am headed to Orchestra Noir. So I'll post some video from that. Also, you guys, we did a short film, which I'm super proud of, a short documentary on the complications of Black fatherhood. So the complications of Black fatherhood based on the 1992 movie. So make sure you check it out. I think the teaser's up on my YouTube channel now, but I'm going to put the entire short film will be up there on tomorrow. So make sure you guys check that out. Miss Pretty Amazing. No, I didn't intentionally pick bad profiles. I didn't think all of them were that bad. There were a couple, but some of them were not that bad. The guys were just being extra. They were being extra. All right. We love you guys for watching. We will see you on Wednesday. I will see you on Monday. We love you. Have a blessed weekend. Be safe.
Be safe, y'all.